Hi, everybody. I am Dr. Cindy, your host of the Positively Altered podcast. I am a chiropractic internist and nutritionist, and we love to discuss all things health-related, financial, physical, spiritual, emotional. You pick. We discuss it with absolutely no filter. On today's show, I'm really excited because not only do we have a guy with phenomenal hair. Ooh, I just gave away the intro that he's going to have phenomenal hair. That's okay. But more importantly, he is a keynote speaker in the world that discusses emotional intelligence. And I think that's really something that a lot of us are lacking and most of us are continually working on. So take a quick break. We're going to listen to a couple important sponsors, come right back, and I will introduce my next guest, and we are going to dive into how to become more emotionally intelligent.
Hello, my name is Heather Lord, and I am the COO of Professional Health Products. Cutting corners is an all too common practice in the dietary supplement industry. When my father founded Professional Health Products, he sourced the cleanest, most biologically active ingredients from around the globe. Today, that commitment remains, which is why the finest healthcare practitioners, like Dr. Cindy, have trusted us for more than 40 years. We oversee the entire process in our manufacturing facility, from sourcing and formulation to manufacturing and labeling. Today, we offer over 300 unique products that can be tailored to the nutritional and homeopathic needs of each individual. Most recently, we launched a proprietary genetic test, allowing our practitioners to get even more dialed in to their patients' health. To learn more about Professional Health Products, please talk to your practitioner or visit our website at phpltd.com.
Today, your life is going to be altered. I'm Dr. Cindy.
Welcome to Infinity. We have worked hard to create an electronic claims website that is simple and user-friendly. This is the public side. You can log into your personal web portal here. This is your dashboard. You can personalize it to your liking here. Our main focus has been to allow you to submit and edit claims as easy as possible. You will find our claims editor and claims processing is simple to use and straightforward. Our quick action bar is where you can find your most important information. Most of these icons will take you directly to the claims the number represents. You can easily view if you have any messages in your inbox of any unread alerts by looking for these blue numbers. To view the rest of our training videos to get the most of your Infinity experience, click this icon. We hope you find this web portal simple and easy to use. Thanks for letting us serve you.
I'm Dr. Cindy. Who wouldn't want to join me for the Positively Altered podcast? So glad everybody hung in there listening to our sponsors because they're super important to us. Today's guest has the best hair out of any guest we have had on the show yet. So if you are only listening and not watching, you've got to tune into the video because we're going to, at the end, talk about hair products because I think that's going to prove to be really important today. Rich Bracken, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. That may be the best opening compliment I've ever received. And I'm just thankful that I have hair at this age. So I'll take that all day. I don't care what it looks like as long as it's here.
You know what, Rich? I think we have that in common because as somebody who walked through Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it was really important for me not to lose my hair, I'm grateful for hair as well. Now, mine a little frizzier. I don't obviously have the investment in the hair products you do, but grateful to have it as well. So, we share.
This is not. There's no product in this. What are you talking about?
No, you do. Hold on, come on. So, for those of you that can't see, it's standing up with a little angle. It is just beautifully curated. He's got this beautiful piece of art in the background behind his head. It's like the whole picture is just. It's a work of art. I think we're going to screenshot that, Rich, and put you up in the background of the Positively Altered podcast.
Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, it's going to put a lot of pressure on a lot of people that are struggling with hair, but absolutely. Maybe we bring on a hair sponsor too. Who knows?
Listen, we need to elevate the world in the, when it comes to hair. Okay, let's start. Hair is important. Let's get to something a little bit more important. And I really want to talk about elevating too. The whole world is talking about AI. I want to change that to EI, right? You talk about something called emotional intelligence. Let's just hit it. Like what I don't even know what that means. I mean, I do know what that means, but tell everybody what it means for you, because I think it's probably different for all of us.
Yeah, emotional intelligence really breaks down to the idea that we need to understand and manage our emotions while recognizing and managing the emotions and the conversations with other people. It really is that two-way interaction. It's making sure that you are not only taking care of yourself and diving deeper into who you are as a person, as a leader, as a professional, as a your personal world, but also how are you engaging other people? How are you showing up? And to your point about AI, this is the absolute perfect time to invest in emotional intelligence because AI is off and running. Like the days of it's coming, it's coming. No, it's been here and it's just compounding things, but in a great way. It allows people to invest in their emotional intelligence and frankly differentiate themselves personally. And companies should be investing in emotional intelligence to separate what they're doing. AI actually gives us more time to dive into who we are from an emotional intelligence standpoint.
So, okay, so how do I bring that, right? I'm having a conversation, whether it's even personally or professionally. How am I consciously aware that what I'm doing is elevating that game?
Yeah. So, number one, and I just wrote about this on LinkedIn this morning about the idea that so many times we dive into either management or leadership or client conversations or any kind of professional dynamic. And we're not starting with us first. We're not investing in our self awareness. We're not investing in our self management. We're just kind of doing the things. Most times, companies will elevate someone because of performance from a black and white number standpoint, from a tactical standpoint. Oh, they can do the thing. So let's just give them a little bit more money and a different title, let them continue to do the thing. But it really boils down to how are you interacting with people? How are you talking with people? How are you showing up? And the number one thing that people are not doing that they need to do more often, and it is terrifying, I will say this, probably more terrifying than my fear of heights, is asking for feedback. How are you showing up? How am I showing up to you? Talking with your team and saying, just give me some candid feedback. I want to get better for you. So if I don't know where my blind spots are, I can't do that. And it is terrifying. It is terrifying because you're not always going to hear the things you think you want to hear, or you're not going to always hear nothing but positive comments. You may hear some criticism. You may hear some opportunities to improve. And I always tell people the only thing you can say in response is thank you. I appreciate your insights. You can't battle it. You can't combat it. You can't, well, I was hungry that day. Well, nobody cares. You damaged a relationship because of your demeanor. So starting with your self-awareness and your self-management is absolutely critical to everything else.
So when you talk about that, I think about all the times, as a professional speaker as well, right? We're always getting that feedback, right? Whether we ask for it or not, we get that feedback.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing that I find interesting, though, that came to top of mind as you were explaining that is not only being able to ask for it, but being able to respond to that question actually appropriately as well, right? And maybe that's where some of our fear comes from is, I don't want to ask you, Rich, how I performed, because maybe you're not kind and constructive and uplifting in the way you respond, even if it's not always a positive set of feedback.
Yeah, and you're 100% right, and I can't not think about the time. So I'll also talk about this concept of negativity bias too, right? We can have 1,000 people in an audience, and 999 of them give us a 4 or 5 star rating, and that one person that gives us some negative feedback or some constructive feedback, or even if it's like, didn't particularly care for it, that's the one we hone in on. We forget the other 999. We focus in on that one. And I will say, as a quick side story, I gave a presentation to 1,500 businesswomen in Kansas City. The presentation I did was my DJ emotional intelligence presentation. And what's funny is that I play like snippets of songs at the beginning just to get the crowd warmed up. And we talk about self-awareness and moving away from the primary colors of emotions. Like people are like, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm fine, frustrated, whatever. It's diving deeper into those descriptive adjectives on how we actually feel, raises our self-awareness and allows us to be more acute to our self-management. So I do this presentation. I mean, I broke the room open. Like I walked out of there like, that was amazing. That was one of the best keynotes I've ever done. I get this feedback from the audience that this woman gives me a 1-star rating for 2 reasons. Number one, she thought it was wildly inappropriate that I played the first 3 notes of Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. It's like a punchline joke where I play a bunch of songs and I get all these different emotions and I play the first three notes of Let's Get It On and I stop. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what your emotions are. I don't care. That's you, that you keep it to yourself. But also I had passed out 1,500 glow sticks. She was mad because her glow stick broke and ruined her dress. And so I'm reading this feedback going, with all due respect, did the glow stick break before or after Marvin Gaye got played? Because that may be a whole different story that we need to talk about. But again, like I don't remember word one word of any of the other feedback points. But that one woman's feedback, that was critical. But at the same time, like I went down that negativity hole. I went down that negativity bias. And when I did the math, I figured out that, okay, out of 1,500 people, I had 45, conscious comments that came back in this. That's a small percentage of the overall total. And honestly, like most people won't give feedback unless prompted or less incentivized. So the people that are not giving feedback are fine. There's everybody else is in great shape. It's that one person that just stuck in my head.
Isn't that crazy? It makes such a big difference. I've been speaking professionally in my profession actually for 16 years. And the most hurtful thing I ever got back was somebody who commented, how could you possibly let her get on stage? She is the worst voice I've ever heard. It's like chalk. Oh yeah. And he kept going, right? Chalk on a chalkboard, et cetera. And I thought, is there a surgery to actually have them change your voice so that I could be more, pleasing to my audience? One person out of thousands. And I've never forgotten that, ever.
Well, of all the ideas in the AI in the world, number one, I wish that guy nothing but happiness because obviously he doesn't have a lot of it. But number two, I would love to see somebody develop, we'll just call it a mouthpiece. I'm thinking about like Bane from the Batman movie. But something you put over your mouth that like you can literally pick and choose what voice you want to have. I would 100% go Morgan Freeman all day long if I could. But maybe just for that one guy, maybe he can go out and invent something that modifies people's voices in real time, or maybe an earpiece that changes it. Who knows? But
oh my God, I love that. Can you imagine me standing up on stage though with Morgan Freeman's voice? I don't know how that would work.
Oh, maybe not you. Like I'm sure I can't think of one right now. For some reason I'm thinking of like Disney characters, and that's just not the right route either. But again, like it goes back to the idea that these people have something else going on. Somebody that gives that kind of visceral feedback, especially when it's a personal attack, to me, they've got something else in their world that's going on. And I will say one of my big emotional intelligence steps for me personally, because I'm a people pleaser. I don't want people to not like me at all. And worse, if you're indifferent, oh my gosh, that's soul crushing to me. So once I understood that, that person's got something else going on, the woman with the glow sticks and this guy with the visceral response to your voice, which your voice is lovely, or you wouldn't have a podcast. Let's be honest. But, that kind of person has something else that's going on in the background. They're action packed with frustration for some other thing, and they need to leverage their emotional intelligence to let go of whatever is haunting them.
Right. One of the things I've learned to do is actually to lean into some of those things, right? To use them for good. So like, for example, Rich, let's say you're on stage and they want more of you and you have to catch a plane because it's really important that you get to your next gig. Mm-hmm. You could put me on to follow you. I could actually start singing Let's Get It On, and I could clear that room in about 3 seconds.
You know what? I think you have a lovely speaking voice. I'm sure your singing voice is even more lovely. I sang in a keynote one time and I heard the recording. I'm like, never again. I'm never doing that ever again. So I may just play that audio track and clear the room on my behalf to save you the trip. But yeah,
right.
But at the end of the day, like people need to loosen up. They need, and honestly, I would love to invite that guy on stage and let him take on the role of the keynote speaker and see how he does.
Right. Wouldn't it be amazing? And you know what? I love the idea of being part of emotionally intelligent is actually leaning into some of those things that may not be your gifts, right? To turn them into a gift.
Oh, absolutely. I think that is part of it too. I think so many times too, professionally and sometimes personally, we try to be good or great at everything, and it's impossible. Once you step into the idea of like, this is not my thing, or I'm not going to be really good at this. And people say, well, if you just try, I'm like, I don't want to try pivot tables. I don't want to try ice skating. And I definitely don't want to try like snake charming. No, thank you. Like those are things that you will never find me doing, period. And I'm okay with that. But if we stop trying to be perfect at everything, we actually become more strong. We become more resilient. We have better balance in our own world because we're not trying to chase everything. You can't possibly do everything.
Right. So let's get back to the fact that we should be asking for feedback occasionally, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you suggest for those of us out there that are terrified now that you made that recommendation, and I'm sure the majority of us are, because we don't want to hear anything but amazing things about ourselves. Where do you feel is the best place to start? Is it the work environment? Is it with somebody that loves you, a family member? Or is that not necessarily the right place to start? What's your recommendation?
I don't think there's a great place to start because either side, personally and professionally, there's fear involved, especially on I think honestly, on the personal side, it's even harder because you may have people that give you feedback that truly care about you and may give you something a little bit too direct. So I think the baby steps of what is great, I use when I do public speaking, I started using this thing called Talkadot, which people can put in different pieces of information and feedback in real time as I'm doing the presentation, which is great. And they can identify or not. That's totally fine. Mentimeter is another one that you can put up, a QR code at the end and say, I would love to hear your feedback or anything you would change about this. Or, if there is an ideal feeling that you would like to walk out of a keynote with, and you're at where you are now, what is the gap? What is the difference? What is the delta that we can put in or that I can work on to be better as a speaker? Or if there's one thing you could change about what I did, what would it be? And that way they can submit anonymously, and it's you're getting that feedback, and you could take it with a grain of salt or you can take it to heart. It's up to you. But it is terrifying. The first few times I asked for feedback, I started as, when I started speaking, I started asking for feedback from friends of mine, colleagues of mine, and it was terrifying. It was helpful, but at the same time, like, you got to swallow your pride a little bit if you want to get better and understanding. And when I talk about feedback in different professional settings, I always say, look, Serena Williams has a coach. LeBron James has a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach. All of these people that are at the top of their game have somebody that's giving them feedback, that's helping them improve. Nobody's like Michael Jordan's coach or Serena Williams' coach isn't just like, we're good. Don't even have to worry about that. Like, they're constantly working on something. We're all a work in progress. We're all trying to be the best version that we can possibly be. And if you think you've peaked, I got some bad news for you. Like, you should always be trying to get better. And nobody understands our blind spots more than the people that we trust at work and the people that we trust in life. But those baby steps of maybe some anonymous feedback help you get warmed up to the idea. Because it's good. I'll be honest, it took me about a week to get it for my first round of feedback, just because I had to manipulate, I had to go through my own feelings. I had to sort through my own self-value. And at the end of the day, I figured out, like, this is for the better. If I'm trying to get better, there's always going to be something that I can improve on.
It's so true. And that is how we elevate ourselves, is recognizing that there is really no such thing as perfection. I don't believe, we can work toward it. I'm not even sure what that is, because really at the end of the day, it's probably our own interpretation of what that looks like anyway.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the more self-aware you become, like, there are presentations I give that are great, that I'm very proud of. There are presentations I walk away literally within seconds as coming off the stage. I'm like, this could have been better. This transition could have been better. I'm aware of it. But it also helps to have that external feedback as well. But it's incredibly valuable.
It's great. So I want to get into music a little bit, because that's your background, right? As a DJ artist, music is really important to you. And I know you pride yourself in saying, a couple notes you can identify. I actually needed you yesterday. I was at a presentation. I was at a ladies' luncheon, actually a pink ladies celebration luncheon. And we were playing bingo. And and like snippets of music. And I had to ask the doc next to me what song. I finally just gave her my card, because I probably had 3 bingos and didn't even know it, because, you can only identify a couple songs at a time. And the chicken salad became more important in the conversation than the bingo. But here's what I want to ask you. I'm really intrigued by that. There's so much data out there about music being helpful and harmful. Like, I remember in school, we were always taught, study to classical music. It's going to increase your capability to remember some of the things you need to. And now we talk about all the foul language in some of the music and how that's a detriment to our children and leading us down a path. How do you use it in presentation to inspire people? Why pick certain songs? What songs do you stay away from? We know you love Let's Get It On now at this point. So,
I don't know if I'm going to play it again, especially if there's glow sticks in the audience. So a couple different things. Number one, if you're ever in music trivia or music bingo ever again, put your earbud in and call me, and I'll just listen and give you the answers.
Awesome.
I honestly, like, Name That Tune, but that I'm that vintage. Name That Tune was one of my favorite shows on TV, and I actually tried out for Beat Shazam, which is the new version of it, based on the fact that I'm like, I hear a song, I'm like, oh yeah, it's that. But when it comes to using music in the presentations, or when I'm using it in my office, or when I use it with my kids, or we have those first 3 notes of a song can completely take us in a different direction. I could hit random on my Spotify right now, which is a whole, looks like I have 17 different personalities. And if I hit full shuffle on my entire Spotify, every time a new song comes on, I can go in a different mood, in a different direction. Yes, I have classical meditation music when I'm doing deep work. I have, my workout playlist. I have good mood playlists. I have relaxation playlists, all the different things. But when we talk about using music in the presentations, I did some research, because I'm a research nerd as much as I am a cartoon character, that I wanted to find the songs that really moved across generations, moved across different personalities, that if you played a song in a room full of 2,000 people, that maybe not everybody knows it, but a vast majority do. And even if it's, there are those people that can hear a song, they're like, oh, I know I've heard this, I just don't know what it is. And then by the time the chorus hits or the first words come out, maybe it's an instrumental intro, they hear the words, they're like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden they're in. And so it's fun. And this happened as a DJ too. When you play a song and you watch it it's almost like dropping food coloring into water. You watch it kind of go through the water and it hits different people. So when you play a song, you see people through the audience, they're reacting in different, almost like time delays. And so somebody hears it and they know it within the first note or two. You hear somebody else that hears it with the first word, like a bridge in. And then there are some people that don't know the words until the chorus comes up. They're like, oh yeah. And so it's fun to watch that happen. So it's stuff like Lose Yourself by Eminem, one of the top workout songs of all time, one of the top motivational songs of all time. You've got September by Earth, Wind and Fire, which is one of the happiest songs of all time. You've got all these different songs that evoke different emotions. So that front end, when I'm doing the exercise in self-awareness and I have the audience shouting out emotions, I have a song pretty much baked into every possible mood, everything from Metallica to House of Pain to, the Earth, Wind and Fire song. I won't give away all the secrets, but there's a couple that I put in there that the minute I play it, people are like, number one, they forgot that song existed. And number two, there's a bunch of different reactions to it. So it's a lot of fun to just play with the audience. I always have way too many songs to choose from because I read the room. And I want the room to feel a part of it. So if I play some older stuff and they're not feeling it, I go to some newer things. So it's all about reading the room. But that emotion that's evoked with music, everybody feels it. Even if you don't know the song, if you hear the opening chords and the opening notes of Enter Sandman, something happens in you psychologically and chemically, no matter if you know the song or not.
Right. So what's your favorite go-to when you're feeling a little, you need a little boost in your life? What's your go-to song?
I have two. So I will say that my favorite exercise with my presentation is I have the audience scan a QR code. I use Mentimeter for this. And there's two questions that they answer. What's a song that makes you instantly happy? What's a song that makes you instantly confident? And I always show the results up on the screen, and it's all anonymous. So people can fly their freak flag as much as they want. And some people have. But the song that makes me happy instantly is Baby I'm a Star by Prince. I love it. It's from the Purple Rain soundtrack, best soundtrack of all time. And then my confidence song will change every now and then. Right now, there's a guy that my older son turned me on to named NF. He's a rapper. There's a song he has called Pandemonium. And I will say that based on my history being an insecure child and having some self-esteem issues over the years, I've had to consistently work on my confidence. And I will say too, it's always, again, it's a work in progress. But the lyrics and the sound and the beat and the instrumental of the song and his words that he uses, the minute I hear it, I'm like, okay, all right. And I played it every single day last week. And I brought in 3 new contracts, reached out to 5 new contacts and developed some relationships. And so it just puts me in this confident, why not frame of mind.
So, Rich, I'm starting to rethink mine. Mine is always Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, it's a great one. It's classic.
I know, but I'm wondering what that says about me.
I think it says you've got great taste. I think it says you've got some sassy confidence within you. You're not somebody to be messed with, but just because it says Crazy Train frankly, if nobody's ever been on a crazy train, they're lying. If they tell you I've never been on a crazy, liar. Everybody's been on the crazy train.
See, I'm thinking there's some serious issues underlying that still need to be worked out, which is absolutely okay.
Now, what you do when Crazy Train comes on may be a whole different conversation, but Crazy Train itself as a selection is one of the most popular, hype songs. People play it in arenas all the time, sporting events. So it's legendary as far as motivation goes.
Isn't that crazy? Who knew? It was just one of my faves over the years.
It's a great one.
Not chewing off bat heads, but turning it up when it plays on.
Thank God.
When it plays on the play, right? Yeah. I don't follow the lifestyle. I just love the music.
Yeah, he's got an interesting one.
There's no doubt. All right, I want to shift a little bit from music to clothing because I want to share with you. So, of course, guests on the podcast, we always like to check out. And, at first, as I'll tell our guests, I went to richardbracken.com and realized I needed an attorney. So don't do that, everybody. And we're going to find out how to reach Rich later. But when I went to the website, I love the dichotomy of the clothes you were wearing. So the picture, the headshot picture, you're in a blue jacket, right? Very corporate, very professional. Love it. And then I look to the right and it's insane. And I resonated so much greater with the other picture in like the silver jacket and the red pants.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do you pick clothing for your audience? And how important is that for those of us that aren't speaking, but we still need to make an impression with people?
Yeah. One of the things I coach and speak on is executive presence as well. And part of that is your personal brand, your appearance, how, I've obviously got, check the box on hair. I'm good there, but my clothes will vary based on my audience. And I think you have to find that fine line of what portrays the image you want to be known for, and then what makes you feel good. Because I will say that there have been times where I've worn a suit where the suit looked good, I didn't feel great in it, and it affects my performance. I will say, so the picture you're talking about is actually the same presentation that I got the 1-star review with all the glow sticks. And I came out in a disco ball jacket with the red pants, and I actually changed jackets like Mariah Carey style right in the middle of the presentation. So I went red jacket on red pants, and there's other pictures of it too. But I've really, I have a brand where people know me for wearing jackets and pocket squares. Now, whether that's a full suit or whether it's jeans and a t-shirt and a jacket and a pocket square, that's just become my brand. And I feel immediately confident. There are times where I can see pictures of me from presentations and I know exactly how I felt when I was delivering that content based on how I'm positioned, but also how I'm dressed, how I feel. So I think it has a ton to do. So people that are trying to portray a more leadership-based image. I'm working with some people now, working with one guy specifically that's trying to become a leader in his organization. And I'm having to do some executive presence speaking coaching and some teamwork stuff, but also kind of giving him a little bit of a makeover. Because, if you want to be known for a certain title or a certain leadership style, you have to dress the part. And he's just not. And so I think it's important that we have that kind of feedback too. And there's also nothing with saying hey, here's my thing. I have some people that I work with that are like, I love all black. It's easy. I don't have to make that many decisions. I don't have to match colors. I don't have to worry about something not going with something else. I'm like, if that makes you feel good, great. If that makes you feel confident, perfect. If it takes the mental tax off of you picking out your clothes, even better. So you have to find that groove of your style and then what you want to portray as a brand.
I love that. Rich, how do you give yourself grace when it doesn't go well?
That has been a work in progress for years as well. Be totally candid with you. I think I go back to what we talked about earlier, that I gave up the desire and the pursuit of perfection a while back, and that changed the game for me big time. Because I think too, in the era of social media, and this person's got 100,000 followers and this person's got 17,000, we're chasing numbers and we're chasing images and we're chasing all these things. And I will say right now, I'll go on record by saying I can't stand the LinkedIn algorithm right now. I'm putting out some of the best content I've ever put out, and it's just not getting the impressions that it used to. And so it got me frustrated. And this was like 3 weeks ago. I went into this, I'm just done posting and this is not fun anymore. And then I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? It's not always going to be perfect. Maybe something else is going on behind the scenes. I don't know. I just need to do what feels good to me. And so I think we have to give ourselves grace on understanding that era of things, of pursuing the likes and the comments and the followers and all that stuff, that's a perpetual game. It's always going to be out of our control. We are truly at the mercy of the algorithm. Somebody may flip a switch tomorrow and it'd be totally different. And also the idea of perfection. We have to get done with this idea of saying, oh, I'm this, impenetrable brand and nobody, I'm this, that. Everybody's got something going on behind the scenes, and everybody portrays this perfect image. And what I love are the people that will go on social media and be like, you know what? I kind of suck today and I'm okay with it. I'll take that all day long. That is so refreshing to me, because we all have something going on. And what I mentioned earlier about people coming up to me after presentations, and the one lady that charged the stage and talked about how something I said in my presentation broke her open emotionally. So many people are carrying this pressure of being perfect, whether it's in their life at work or in their life at home. We have to stop that. By just showing up as your favorite version of yourself every single day, everything else takes care of itself. But if we're spending the rest of our days pursuing something that is out of our control and pursuing something that is up to somebody else, frankly, which is also the social media game, and we ignore what makes us happy every single day, we're gonna pass on with a lot of regret. And I don't want to do that. And so I came to that realization, and I've just been living. It's again a work in progress, but I've been living that ever since.
So when you stand up on stage, right, it is expected that you're an expert, right? That's the image that we give when we're teaching others a skill set or an idea. What is, if you don't mind me asking, what is one thing that you are constantly trying to teach your audience that you also struggle with that we may not want to see, right? Because we want to deem you as an expert, but maybe it's important to see because it makes you human and knowing that, that journey is always a journey.
Right. It's a great question. And I will say honestly, and not pandering and trying to be a martyr or anything, I would much rather be real than perfect. I would much rather be, authentic and approachable than an expert that seems to be carried around in a glass case of knowledge. There are several things, and I'm very real in my presentations. I'll tell people, like, I struggle with these kinds of things. I talk about this stuff every single day, and my emotional intelligence will fluctuate based on what's going on. The idea that we have to be mindful of what truly impacts our day is everything. And I share in a very vulnerable moment in my presentations that, my mom has been sick for a while and she's been in assisted care. And every time my dad calls, I ignore the call. I send it to voicemail because I'm afraid he's calling me to tell me that she's passed on. And I admit that from the stage. And I think that gets people, it's a very heavy moment, but it's also a very real moment. And to me, I think, of course, by that time, I've already broken the audience open with music and everything else. So it's a very vulnerable moment deep into the presentation. But I think people realize, because I think at times, and I don't mean this to sound egotistical, but I think when you step on a stage, there's this elevated perception anyway. And so when you say, hey, look, there are days where I'm terrified to answer the phone, like that hits people in the heart. And so and I know, because I started my journey by studying emotional intelligence and putting things into play myself, I know that it works. And I know what to do. And I tell people all the time, it's going to be different every single day, but I'm going to arm you with the things that help you get back to average or zero or normal quicker, rather than trying to make you fluctuate up and down all day long. So I think it's just understanding that moving forward, you have to give yourself grace. You have to understand that there are going to be different things that impact you every single day. No 2 days are the same. And so it's all just kind of figuring out what in the moment do you need. And sometimes I struggle with that. And sometimes I do really great with it, but it's always something I'm conscious of.
What you actually just did for me in that moment was allow me to feel closer, to get to know you, right? Because in that vulnerability of what you just shared, I actually can think of my own story, which is different, right? But my own story where I've had a situation similar, and understanding that what you're experiencing is actually okay and real. Mm-hmm. Is really important. And now it brings me closer to you in a connection that doesn't one up anybody. And I think that's very valuable. What you do provide and what you did just provide to the audience today is allowing people to feel that. And I thank you. It's really important.
And two, I think we try to put up this, I'm fine, everything's fine, we're all working, I'm strong, and I'm leading, and I'm doing this, and I'm killing the game, and I'm doing all. And I'll be honest, like there have been days, I had one probably about a month ago where I literally wanted to just crawl into a pint of ice cream and just cry. And just because stuff gets heavy, the world is heavy. It's always going to be heavy. And so having those moments of saying like, hey, look, yes, I'm standing up on stage in front of 2,000 of my closest new friends, but deep down inside, I'm a person. And I have bad days. I get frustrated. I get pissed off about stuff. I cry about things. Like that's just who we are as people. But having that awareness of who I am and allowing me to, allowing myself to feel those things and explore them, I'm not compartmentalizing and letting it bubble up anymore.
Rich, what flavor of ice cream?
Oh, chocolate chip cookie dough, 100%.
Really?
I'm not that big of an ice cream fan, to be honest. If I'm being honest, like my birthday's coming up, and all I want for my birthday is a gigantic oatmeal raisin cookie and a charcuterie board.
Can the oatmeal cookie be on the charcuterie board?
I think that would be magical if they could, because I have a friend of mine who makes charcuterie boards here in Kansas City, and they're not only delicious, but the most gorgeous works of art you've ever seen. And so if she could do that, and I'm actually going to call her after this and challenge her to do that.
I love it. All right, everybody, go grab your favorite cookie. It's got to be gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free so that it's a good Dr. Cindy recommendation, but go find that. We're going to take a quick break, listen again to one of our important sponsors. We're going to be right back with Rich Bracken, who we're going to challenge with just some fun questions. You up for that, Rich?
Always. Let's do it.
All right, stay tuned. Go. There's a hair out of place, I think. One little.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, fix that, and we'll be right
Breeze
back.
in my office got me.
This is your weekly dose of Dr. Cindy, the Positively Altered podcast. Stop, hit that follow button now and spread the love with Positively Altered. And we're back. I am Dr. Cindy with the Positively Altered podcast. My guest, Rich Bracken, and I was actually just kidding. He does not have a hair out of place. I was projecting Rich because I'm always frizzy and managing, and I'm just, quite frankly, I'm just a little envious.
But what's funny, well, your hair looks fantastic. And what's funny is that the artist signature, I took a picture one day and there's a curve on their signature that looked like it was like this long curly hair that was coming off my head the way I was positioned in the selfie. So every time I see that picture, I'm like, no, it's not my hair. It's okay. It's fine.
See, I think my hair is more reflective in the art behind you. I think that, like, I can identify with that a little bit more. All right, let's jump in. We're going to ask some rapid fire questions. Just first thing that comes to mind, for whatever reason.
I'm excited. Let's do this.
All right. If you were the ruler of the universe and you needed somebody to drive your chariot, who would it be? And it needs to be somebody you've never met.
Drive my chariot. Wow. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because I can get there quicker.
Why is he fast?
He's strong.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
Of course, I'm feeling like maybe he's pulling the chariot, but if he's driving the chariot, then I don't know. Maybe he's a good driver. I have no idea. We'll find out.
All right, that'd be fun. We'll see. All right, what is your favorite body part and why?
Eyes, I think, are the most telegraphic thing on a person. Eyes, unless you have the best poker face in the entire world, eyes tell you everything about somebody.
Truth. What is one article of clothing you wish you never had to wear ever again?
Oh, God. The spandex pants I wore on national television.
All right, I have, excuse me. All right, we're going to interrupt the rapid fire because I have to ask why spandex pants?
I was on a show on ESPN that was a sports version of Fear Factor called I'd Do Anything. And we were challenged. We didn't know what we were doing until the last minute. We were in Las Vegas. We were put in the Nevada ballroom dancing competition in front of 1,000 people, and we had spandex pants and a satin mariachi shirt. It's online. I'm happy to send you the link and the pictures. You can't unsee it.
Oh my gosh. And how did you do?
I have a trophy I have a little, like in my office, I have my walk-in closet. I have like all the swag and like badges and stuff like that, all like memories to motivate me. And up top, let me grab it.
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
All right, we got to see this. All right, now I've got to sing and dance for a minute or two while he goes to get the trophy. And I'll just dance because oh, look at that.
ESPN's I'd Do Anything.
Oh my gosh, is that impressive?
So yes, this is my one and done dancing trophy. I won this beating two other contestants, and we had 2 hours to learn tango and salsa and come up with a routine and then perform in front of 1,000 people, and I rocked it.
Now tell the truth, was it the dancing ability or was it the spandex pants that got you the trophy?
I'm going to go with both.
Okay.
I was in much better shape and I was a much better dancer than the other two guys. So I will say both. Confidently, both.
I love it. Well, congratulations to you. I think that's very impressive.
Thank you.
Truly. All right. If you could domesticate any animal on the planet, what would you make as your house pet?
A tiger, which is ironic because I'm allergic to cats.
Oh,
But I love tigers. I think they're beautiful creatures, and I would just take a lot of Benadryl. I'd be all right.
We have treatment for that. So just call me if it happens, and I'll help you through that. All right, Rich, last but not least, what was your favorite thing about doing the podcast today?
Just laughing with you. It's so fun to connect with people that have the similar energy. You're fantastic. You're very easy to talk with. I've had so much fun. I'm sad that it's ending. I don't want it to end. And mainly because I've had so much fun with you. Laughing is always very therapeutic to me, and we've done a lot of that. And I frankly will go on record by saying, I love your voice. I want to hear more of it. So I've had fun talking with you. I really appreciate you having me.
You are very sweet, Rich. So because you're so important, and I think you've got an amazing message, how do we find you, get a hold of you, follow you, give the listeners, all that good info?
Sure. Head over to richbracken.com. I'm not an attorney, so come visit me at richbracken.com. I've got all my social media content is there. I've got information about my keynotes, my coaching. I do emceeing, DJing. That's I'm a kind of a renaissance man of entertainment. But I've got a lot of motivational content. My blog, my podcast is all over there. So richbracken.com has everything.
I love it. Rich, we will make sure that is in the show notes so that everybody can get a hold of that information. And then also, we didn't quite get to it, so I probably should have you back. But just because it's really important, you have a handout, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. On things that we can do that take 5 minutes or less on self-care. So this, I guess, is the lead in to have you back one day so that we can go down that pathway. But in the meantime, we're going to make sure that that's available for all of our listeners. And that'll be a good teaser to listen to the next podcast that I hope you'll come back and join me on.
I will come back anytime you want to have me. And yes, it's a guide on 50 ways to invest in self-care in less than 5 minutes because we're all too busy. So it gives you no excuse whatsoever to not invest in your self-care.
I love it. Everybody has 5 minutes. Don't tell us you don't, because we're going to tell you that you absolutely do. I will tell you, Rich, that the favorite thing for me today on the podcast was just your raw sense of elevating in terms of being an expert and the vulnerability that you shared. I think that's just super important. And I'm grateful really for that raw perspective. It's so valuable to just recognize that we're all human and we're going through this, as Prince would say, right? We're going through this thing called life together. And go pick out that album. I probably didn't even get the title right, did I?
No, you got it right. It was so it's the beginning of Let's Go Crazy, who he says, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life." So there it is. Everybody should go listen to the Purple Rain soundtrack. And then next time I'll tease this. I have a great story about Darling Nikki in my presentation. So,
all right. And you know what? We'll have to figure out, I'm going to get my producer, Julie, to figure out how to play music in the opening. So we'll open with Prince. We'll end with Prince. I know she's making faces now behind the scenes. Like, how am I going to make that happen, Dr. Cindy? We are going to make that happen. We can make anything
figure it
happen.
out.
Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure. For those of you that want to learn more about what's going on in my world, please check out drcindyspeaks.com. Or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you at hello@drcindyspeaks as well. It's been great. Please pick up the book, Positively Altered, Finding Happiness at the Bottom of a Key Bag. And if nothing else, just keep tuning into the podcast. Make sure you like and share. Let your friends know that we're changing the world one guest at a time. Rich, thank you so much. It's been fabulous. It was so great to have Rich Bracken on the podcast today. I know he's inspired me, and I hope he has left all of you positively altered.